Holy moly! Guacamole! Great. Let's get back in. Let's calm back down, class. Thank you and welcome to class. How is everyone this morning? Stefan, you're doing good? Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's really good. You made the baseball team. Congratulations. Oh, I'm sure your parents are so proud. Oh, that's wonderful news. Little League, that's great. All right, class. Well, let's go ahead and get started with our lesson today and English Language Arts. So our objective today is by the end of this lesson, students will be able to identify the meaning of a word through context clues. So let's, as we started today and get ready for class, I had a little assignment for you guys this morning, right? I wanted you guys to tell me what you did when you came across a word that you didn't recognize. Like you were reading a book and it was a big word. You could spell it out, you can sound it out, but you just didn't know what it meant. What would you do if you didn't know? Thank you, Denise. Yeah, you could open up a dictionary. That's a good answer. That's a great answer, actually. Thank you. All right. Amelia. All right, you would ask a parent, right? An adult. If you came across the word and didn't know what it meant. Yeah, that's a good answer. Great answer. All right, so what would we do if in that, in that chance that that wasn't available? You didn't have a dictionary, you didn't have a parent around. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. So today is context clues. So we're going to find out what the context clues are. So I have a little word here that we're going to remember. We're going to write this down in our notes, remember? So we're going to open up our notebooks. That's what we have to do every day in class, in the lesson, right? We're going to make our lesson. We're going to notate our lesson. So open up your notebooks and we're going to write down these letters, right? So it's going to be idea, because you're going to get an idea of what this word is going to be. So we have infer. So we're going to write the letter I, and we're going to write infer next to the letter I. The next one is define. So we're going to write the letter D next to the word define. Just like this, okay? So we're going to give you some time to write this down. The letter E. And we're going to write example. We're going to write that next to it as well. And the letter A, which is antonym. That's a new word. So let me go ahead and let you guys know what antonym means, okay? So our last lesson, we learned what synonyms were. It sounds like cinnamon, but it's not. It's synonym. And that is a word that is the same, right? So the words that are that mean the same thing. So antonym is going to be a word that's not the same thing. It's going to be the opposite. All right? Okay, so we're going to go through some examples so you guys can have a better idea of what this is. So all eyes on me as I present the lesson, okay? All right. Okay, so the letter I for infer. So we're going to use an example. We're going to use the example of Stacy, okay? And we're going to use the word arrogant. That's a new vocabulary word that we have this week. So I want you guys to also notate that down in your notebook. So arrogant. So infer. So that means we're going to give, I'm going to go ahead and read out the sentence for you so you know what it means. So Stacy can be arrogant sometimes. All she ever does is talk about herself. We know that Stacy talks about herself a lot, and that way we can infer that being arrogant means someone who talks about themselves a lot, right? Okay. So, yeah, we're going to say, okay, well, maybe arrogant means someone who's just really full of themselves. They like to talk about themselves a lot. All right, the next one is definition, D. So Stacy's very arrogant. She thinks she's better than anyone else, okay? So Stacy thinks she's better than anyone else. In that sentence, we defined what arrogant means. So now we know what it means, right? Arrogant means that she believes in her mind that she's better than anyone else. It's not a really positive attribute, is it? No. Mm-mm. All right, so the next one is E, for example. So that means in the sentence, we're going to give an example. All right, so this next one is Stacy is so arrogant. All she ever does is talk about how great she is at acting. Okay, so it gave us an example. Oh, she's so arrogant. So this is what she does, presenting herself as arrogant. We're giving her, the audience, the reader, an example of what arrogant means. That she's always talking about how great she is at acting and writing. Okay? All right, and the last one is antonym. So remember, class, we said antonym was the opposite, right? So we'll know what arrogant is. The word that's going to be used is going to be the opposite of arrogant, okay? So Stacy is so arrogant. She should be more like Julie, who is very, very humble. Okay, so now we know that humble, which was a vocabulary from last week, right? Humble is someone who doesn't think very highly of themselves. They're very, humble. So that's a good one. So we know that humble is the opposite of arrogant. So just remember that. So arrogant is someone who's full of themselves. They think highly of themselves. They talk about themselves a lot. They put themselves up on that pedestal, and they're not humble at all. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't sound like a nice person, does she, Jeremiah? No. Mm-mm. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and put this into practice, okay? So I have a passage here that I'm going to go ahead and read. And then we're going to work together to determine what eccentric means, okay? So, here we go. After spending the week with him, Jenny told her mother it was confirmed Uncle Cedric was definitely an eccentric. He let his dog sit at the dinner table. He refused to eat anything the color yellow. And he called his fridge Betsy. All right, so based off of this passage that I just read out loud, what do you guys think that this word eccentric means? Dana? Odd. Yeah, he's an odd. That's a good one. Weird. Yeah, it's not a nice word, but yeah, he's a little weird. He's not normal. He doesn't do things normal. Do we name our refrigerators? No. Do you let your dog sit at the dinner table with you? Most cases, no. I haven't seen anyone do that. If you have, I would like to know that story. Typically, the dog eats, maybe in another room or on the ground. He wouldn't eat with you on the dinner table. So that's weird. That's weird. And then he wouldn't eat anything the color yellow. Why? Well, there's so many good food, right? Bananas. Yeah, bananas are great. They're wonderful. So, yeah, that's weird. So now that we know, we found out just because they, gave examples of what an eccentric is, we were able to determine using context clues what eccentric means. So, good job, class. So I went ahead and wrote an exit ticket for this lesson before we transition to the next lesson. It's a little worksheet. It's got 3 questions, multiple choice. I want you guys to each read the passage, and then there's going to be multiple choices. I want you to choose the word that you think that is. So we're going to choose a synonym from last lesson, remember? We're going to use a synonym to find the answer using context clues. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you.